Hi, this is Toni. I'm in a room on my own, bathed in love. If you're, I guess I'm calling out to anyone that's needing this conversation, you'll turn up. I'm live recording it on my phone next to this, so I'm telling everybody what the status is and trusting that everything that's happening in this moment is happening. So the question is, how do I know if I'm in alignment? Well, let's start with what is alignment? Alignment is being yourself. That's it. It's a fancy word for being yourself. And what does being yourself mean? Well, that means doing the things that you love. That means living out all the things that you choose to live out or not. There's a choice to everything. So it's all the behaviors that entail you, the light and the dark. Your hopes and your dreams. I think that's being you. It's kind of, I would see it as a holistic approach to being who you are based on all the knowledge that you know. If you only know yourself in certain ways, for example, you could learn secret language of birthdays, or you could not learn that, or you could learn astrology about yourself or not learn that. There's a bunch of different things that you could do. So if you chose to do any of those, then you would have information about yourself. So then when you behave and do things and react to behaviors and all of those things, you do all of those behaviors based on the education or the sort of information you know about yourself. And the more you know about yourself may support you in how you react to certain things, and how you sort of take them in, how you let them bounce off you, how you move with them, how you groove with them, all of the things, whatever that means to you. And so that's cool. So learning things about ourselves helps us understand things about ourselves. And from my perspective, I believe that understanding or learning things about yourself is very beneficial beneficial to each person in their own, to have that information about themselves so that they can go, wield their godly vessel. We're all some sort of gift from God or whoever you believe in, or somebody created us, some creator above us at some point. There's a chicken and the egg story of life, right? Evolution, blah, blah, blah. So we have a choice in everything. So all of the parts of yourself that you show up to the table with in any one situation or dream or whatever, considering you have a choice to, create your future how you wish. So that to me is sort of the basis of alignment. I'm kind of checking my brain to see if there's anything else in there, but in a sense of giving you a sort of solid wrap-up moment at this stage of the talk. What is alignment? Alignment is being myself. And what is being myself? That means it could be doing what I want when I want, doing what's in higher purpose connection with myself. Maybe actually that gives us another layer to go, because I think it could be doing what you want when you want it, but then maybe it's not alignment. Do you see where I'm going there? If I want to do what I want when I want it, but if it's not alignment with you, maybe you're not meant to do it. You might still feel that way. That's kind of, I guess, the negotiation of life that we go back and forth on. I want to do this, but then I know it's not good for me, but I keep doing it because I want it. We can all appreciate that, right? Yeah, real talk. So, alignment is being myself, doing what one would hope. I was going to say one would hope that we're always in alignment with what is the highest best, but I think sometimes we want what we want. So, it's that daily being present with yourself in all of the hopes and dreams and the balancing of everything. We're in a sort of Libra moon coming into the Scorpio full moon tonight. And so what does it mean for me? that means doing something around the moons. That means creating art. That means looking at my shadows. Being in alignment with myself is trusting my voice. Being in alignment with myself is, sleeping and eating and things to the rhythm of my natural body. I had a lot of fear coming out of my corporate world, and it was ingrained in my body, deep in my belly, and it used to cause a lot of anxiety when I was in work situations, which really didn't need them, but it was my own sort of eyes or mindset perspective that, I had this, but I didn't have this. But what it is, I just couldn't see the value of what I had already. And I think that's sort of, as you learn alignment, you learn to understand that and dance with that and the sovereignty of that. And all of these subjects I talk about, they're all intertwined. It's kind of the same subject, but over and over, just from a different angle each time. We're using different words, different languages, different perspectives, love and fear, high vibrations, low vibrations. And these things now I'm starting to talk about are what you can use to almost like check if you're in alignment with yourself. I mean, I think we always know, but sometimes we always don't know why. And maybe as we get more finely tuned with our body, whether that's through, sometimes we don't have a very good connection with our body when we're eating cakes and lots of processed sugar and lots of fried food. We know when we're out of balance with our diets. And so I think when we operate from that perspective, that's being in and out of alignment with ourselves. That's because we know that eating 10 hamburgers is not necessary every single night. Like that's, with your basic level of information better than, that fact is not true. You can't pretend that. You can pretend that they're all you like. But here's the deal. You always know when you're going against yourself. And I think that's the concept of alignment. It's like when you're going against yourself, sometimes you don't know. And then it's partly what, like I said at the beginning, the behaviors that come in around, I didn't realize. Okay, cool, I got it. Sometimes it might be like, oh no, I didn't see that. Sometimes it might be like, oh no. Catching ourselves in and out of alignment when we sort of wake up in the moments. We've all smoked weed, right? And you wake up and you're like, whoa, where am I, man? Like that's kind of what waking up is like, at times. I mean, I think everybody has different versions of it. Don't get me wrong. That's maybe my projection. But, I find myself, it's like being in nature. You're quickly, beautifully brought back to the present moment when you're in alignment with yourself. And the more, I really see it as operation. I think I said this in the other one. That's an interesting place. That vibration that I went to, it's kind of this borderline vibration of anxiety or exhilaration, like ecstasy or anxiety. And that sort of place where it could switch, you know what I mean? And that's an interesting point where you start to tune in your body when you go. So going back to operation, you get closer to the edge, it goes bzzz. Everyone's played that game, right? You stick the little stick in with the metal end and you try not to touch the edge, otherwise you buzz yourself. Operation, right? You try to get the pieces out of the guy that's left inside him, which is probably hilarious because it's probably so true. You wonder how many doctors were like leaving things in people, like accidentally. Surely no one's done that on purpose. Anyway, that would be hilarious. Terrible, but hilarious. Yeah, maybe that's being in alignment with. I have a terrible sense of humor because I think those things are macabrely interesting and fun and fascinating, but also, in the thoughts of your future. That's why I think there's even a level of like, as you go through this discernment, right? That I would say that's another sort of word that I would throw in the mix if I was talking about alignment. Because I think you can look at discernment with like, let's say in the wellness or spiritual industry, there's a lot of people that aren't the same face on the, let me catch my words, like then, they're two-faced. I was trying to think of a nice way to say it. Let's just, they have different faces they wear, and I think we all wear different faces. So I think the discernment comes in again, that vibration sort of tipping point of like, is this anxiety or exhilaration? Am I excited or am I anxious? Am I anxious or am I excited? And sometimes you can't tell. Like when I get really excited, it happens in work situations where I'm like, yeah, we could go get that. And everyone's like, relax, it's okay. And I was like, no, I was just excited about getting in the trolley or the car and going to Target and buying lots of water. That sounds like a great idea. Cool, I'm up. But people sometimes can mistake that for me in the context of me that I'm like angry or crazy or whatever. Anyway, even like now, I'm super excited. So taking a breath in, stretch your arms, your neck, your back, everything. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for Clubhouse for holding this space for me to turn up for myself and to speak freely, and then to share this with the world, to know that as I sit here and be in alignment with myself, it offers everybody an opportunity to do the same for themselves, which raises the vibrations of our country, of our towns, of our countries, of our communities, of our individualism, of our individual self, and our nation, and our globe, and our planet, and our universe. As humans, that is what we're here to do. It's a very powerful. It's a very powerful. It's a very powerful. I was thinking. It's a very powerful, very powerful gift to be sort of like unveiling and unleashing, and all of the things, you know. So let's go back. Alignment. Alignment is being yourself. What is being yourself? Well, it's doing what you want at all points in time, and it's, you know, being honest with yourself when you're out of alignment with yourself, which means maybe you vibrationally are in discord. You want something, but it's not good for you. You don't want something that's good for you. You know, it comes in that I couldn't even tell you all the combinations, but you know, they're the classic Hollywood style of like good, bad, bad, evil. And there's something in your life, or there's probably many things at different times that you're bouncing against your own self in operation. You're playing pinball with yourself. And these are the sort of opportunities to realign ourselves. You know, this sort of self-reclamation tour that I'm on, or this pilgrimage that I'm on, is to reclaim myself. And I think we're always remembering who we are. And that's what kind of the gift of alignment is. You sort of unlock the doors and the windows and the escape hatches and the fruit bubbles that get you extra points. Like you're constantly up leveling yourself and giving yourself opportunities to up level by being truthful with yourself. So as you navigate your days, you know, it's I mean, I think that sometimes, like, I'm just curious, like when I think about my so interesting. Listening to my body, slowing it down is another way to find alignment. I'm kind of going to just keep hammering this point from different angles as I go through my own experience here. Yeah. Alignment, you know, can be something that maybe, I don't know, can you be in it and not know? Possibly. Like I think about people that you meet that, one time I went to this Mexican island. There was this guy that sold shells, and he would like just get up every day and smoke down the beach and clean his shells and put them out for sale, and maybe he'd sell one or maybe he didn't. Sometimes I'd see him drinking a beer. But it's like, is he in alignment? I think so. I mean, who am I to say? But like, just from my own vibrational feeling. But it was something for me to like, just as sort of, I've gone off on a tangent here, so something that was fascinating to me about there's like a sense of alignment, even though he didn't like wake up the next day and be like, now I'm going to be like a gangster showman and have like, and that was disrespectful use of the word gangster. I meant as in like a big out there breaking entrepreneur shell guy, and he's going to have 2 locations and he's going to sell them and he's going to sort of upgrade or whatever. And it's like, well, does he have to do that to get more alignment? Does that open his pipe, excuse the pun, but like, does that expand his bandwidth to get more consciousness? Does that help him make more money? Does he need more money? Like, I can't remember. I want to say his star sign was Aquarius, but I think I might be making that up. But he basically like gave me all these was sort of like something like he took my hands and things and wanted to tell me about gold coins, and like it was a very religious, very like beautiful moment, to the point where I'm like, did that just happen? And my business partner was there, and I believe she sort of experienced it too. But it was one of those things that like, did that all happen from God, or am I making that up? But it was really profound in terms of how the things that he said to me, and then just this sort of like, what I do know is there was this like clear pipe between the like source, him and I. It was like we were in the same rhythm, the same loop, the same. So it was almost like it didn't matter what your version of alignment looks like. As long as it's in alignment with you, that's where it kind of gets superpowered. And that doesn't have to look like a, boss man, boss lady, which I don't even know if I like that language. Kind of big boss man, shell man, multiple locations and double tables or something. I don't know. I think that as you begin to pay attention, and that may come in many levels and even have an ego reaction. I think I used to hear that from people before and be like, I am paying attention. And then it's like, okay, relax, Toni. So yes, of course we are, but we can always pay more attention, and sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and other times we know exactly what we know, and for some reason we're not ready to look at it. And as we peel back the layers of ourselves, we come into more and more in alignment sort of unlimited, because if you're sort of evolving naturally with your if you're evolving naturally with your own sense of evolution, I guess, and your own expansion, then by default, things that will be coming into your vibrational field, let's say, that could be aura, that could be like essence, that could be like universal laws of attractiveness. No, hilarious. Attraction, I think is the right word. But kind of, I think I started that point before. If anyone's familiar with the Abrahams, the channeling of the Abrahams, incredible work. And, there was a couple of things in that made me curious around if our thoughts were our future and everything. I mean, if we just looked at the wall and said, like, throw plant on floor, like everything would just be smashing. It'd be like a Deadpool movie site with everything blowing up around him or whatever, and him just laughing. Like, it doesn't, I think it's having discernment with that too. That's kind of my invitation to anyone that listens to me, is like, I'm not preaching, I'm just talking about my experience, and I have very deep experiences and very joyful and crazy and fun, and I want to talk about all of them, and I believe they're all revolve around spiritually, because I've made my commitment to sort of study this and to learn this and to embody this and to share this and I think it's free. It's like, if you want to have a fit body, you can dance with your own body weight and make your body perfect if you really put in the commitment. And I think that that's the same with spirituality. It's a commitment, and I've chosen my sort of devotion to spirit as the sort of leading lady in my life, and so for me that's alignment. It might not look, I thought when I started getting woke, hilarious, I did that on purpose, that word, when I started waking up I thought everyone had to sort of work out and be fit like me. I was kind of like really angry at people if they didn't do the same level of exercise or whatever. And that was just because I was in a narcissistic, abusive, you know, stigmatized state. And once I broke free from that, I was able to see sort of my role in that. Not to say that those things can affect our alignment. A lot of things can affect our alignment. I think our upbringings, our parental situation, our societal situation, our environment, our education, our travel, our diet. We've talked about that. It's like the Tony Robbins wheel. It's like, look at your life as a big pie and slice it up with however many slices you need. It's your choice. One for like body, sleep environment. Are you being creative? Are you eating? Are you going to the bathroom? What does it look like? Like looking at, you could tell a lot about a person and their habits by their body. And I mean, that's just the truth. If you're putting unnecessary strain on your physical insides of your body, your heart and things because of your physical state, it's just like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, everybody has a choice. So, no one's holding you prisoner of the cake tray or the buffet, I realize actually that maybe that sounds harsh. There's addictions and all the things. Like, there are all the things all the time everywhere, but everything is a choice. So, that's, I think, when you're in alignment, you're feeling more free to make choices and to speak your voice and to stand up for your rights and to go after what you want and feel your way intuitively, checking boxes, yes, no, maybe, no, yep, in, out, no, everything. That's it. Moving through your life so freely and fluidly and beautifully, and that's what alignment is. That's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like for me. So, that's a thing. Anyway, alignment, being yourself, uncovering the layers of yourself, looking how you make reactions to, and that's where the awareness comes in. If you notice that every time, you're getting up, you're like, oh, I need a coffee to get going. Well, maybe you're just telling yourself that story. I think coffee's great, but it is an addictive, I don't know, is it chemical, natural product with chemical? I don't know. Let's take the word chemical out for any reactions unnecessarily, but like, it's a drug. It's a very strong drug. Like, you don't have that stuff for a week and you'll get a headache like a mofo, and then you put that back in your diet and you'll get it from, there's adjustments and withdrawals, and that is, people that have been drinking that for years, I mean, they're going to go through some physical stuff. So, that's the bit where you ask yourself, talking about alignment for me and food, I used to drink coffee, but it would make me poo my pants like crazily. And I've had some horrible things. I think I was back in Australia with my family and we went to dinner at the Sydney Harbour Bridge building, restaurant inside it. I think my mum, well, no, I don't think, my mum told me at one point quite angrily that she thought that was the night we were all my partner and I were going to tell everyone we were getting engaged. And then I think she was really mad because my expectation that everyone could afford to eat dinner there that night. And then I was spent half the night in the toilets, with the runs from drinking an espresso like I could. I was just trying to be cool. I'm so embarrassed. But I was trying to be someone I wasn't. I just needed to be myself. But we learn from those things, and we shift those things into learnings, and we shift that into grace, and we shift that into, practice, and we start better practices. I haven't touched coffee for a long time. It's like, everything has we're all in some sort of recovery in some way. So alignment is understanding where our dark sides are, our weaknesses, our strengths, working out how we can support ourselves. Having the right squad around is important. We're all shifting and changing through incredible circumstances in our lives. And I think that these opportunities to make changes are incredible. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to bump into each other. We're here to make shifts and changes in ourselves. We're here to honor the journey of ascension, have fun, play the game. If at some point that this is sort of like, at least there's everyone, I think, in the world at this point, even kids, have some sort of societal knowledge that like nobody owns them. As much as there's like the man and like all the energy of the rebels that are going against the man, but we all know at some point everything's a choice. So we're all playing the roles, and I think that's the beauty of alignment. What role do you think you're playing? And if it's in alignment, everything will flow, and if it's not, you're going to be coming up against hard edges or sharp edges or whatever the LOL they are. And so that's an invitation for you to ask, where am I out of alignment here? It might not be that exact area, but it might be somewhere else you're overlooking. And I think these things show up for us to do that work. And then when we're, when we come into more and more alignment with ourselves, we then open up more doors to do more work. And there's always invitations. And I think you can rest. Like, I certainly know I've got to the point where, my days are pure consciousness in terms of I am, in conversation with my higher power all day of like, what do you want to do? Where are we at? How are we feeling? Are we going to sleep, go for a walk, paint? What is the day feeling? That's complete sovereignty. And that takes sort of energy to be, curious and conscious enough to want to do that, and then also to do the work to stay in that place, and then all to be gentle when you don't, because, we're all human. So navigating the concept of alignment is being curious, is asking questions, is upsetting the status quo, is being open to learn, noticing, awareness. I don't know, having a curiosity. Are you seeing the same people on the bus? Are you, people with the same birth date showing up? Like, what dreams are you having? Are you writing things down? I got curious about everything. Like freakazoid. I'm a freakazoid about my own emotional, mental, spiritual space. Are you astral traveling? Are you psychic? What are your powers? Like, we're all got something. But it's like, I don't know, curiosity around all the things. Synchronicities, are they happening? Just being curious. Anyway. Thank you again, Clubhouse, for honoring me, turning up and speaking to myself. I love you all. Thank you if you listened, and thank you if you didn't. And I look forward to being in your presence soon. I love you, I love you, I love you. Bye.